Alright, here we're going to do 10-4, the hyperbolas, and we are going to take a look at how to get the center, foci, vertices of this problem. You have all of the equations up front, and if you notice, the only difference between the ellipse and the hyperbola is that we have this minus sign in between. So when I'm looking for a center, my center is going to be at 5, -1. So when I graph this, on my graph, that point is at 5, -1. So because this number is 25, I am going to go left and right 5. And because this number is 9, I'm going to go up and down 3. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 5 that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this way. Up 3 and down 3. Now instead of making a circle, what I'm doing is I'm making a box around these points. And I'm going to use this to graph this, so I'm going to make a diagonal line through this box. Now when taking a look, since the x comes first, this is going to be a horizontal graph, which means that I come in from this side, hit this point right here, and go out this side. Come in from this side, hit here, go out this side, and there's my graph. So I have my graph, and these 2 points are my vertices. So the only 2 points that I have that are vertices are the ones that are right here and right here, which means that they are at 10, -1 and 0, -1, because I moved 5 left and 5 right from the center. So I got my center, I got my 2 vertices, and so all that's left to get is the foci. Now in this problem, they give b squared is equal to c squared minus a squared. I always change this to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared, because generally speaking we have a, b, and b. And so the first number is always a, and the second number is always b squared. So we got 25 plus 9, which is equal to 34. Which is equal to c squared. Take the square root of both sides. And so 5.8 is equal to c. Now, we always change, in this one, the variable that comes first. So we are going to change the x from our center. So I got 5 plus or minus 5.8, -1. So that would be 10.8, -1, and -0.8, -1. Alright, for this next one, we're trying to come up with the equation in standard form of this particular parabola. And so the first thing is I'm going to put down x first, because once again this is a sideways one, and y comes second, and we're going to equal 1. Now because the center is at 2, -3, the first one is going to be x minus 2, and the second parenthesis is going to be y plus 3. Now, to figure out how big A is, we just need to figure out how far that is. So that's only going to be from 2, -3 to 6, -3. So that gives me a total of A being equal to 4, which means A squared is equal to 16. That way is going to be how long B is, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since B is equal to 5, y plus 3 is going to have 25 underneath because 5 squared is equal to 25. And there's my answer. The next problem, example number 3, says xy is equal to 49. The easiest way to figure out how to graph this is to just divide both sides by x. And then we got y equals 49 divided by x. Now the one thing I'll mention about this particular type of problem is that we know that the square root of 49 is equal to 7. Which means if I was asked for a vertice, it would be at 7, 7, and at -7, -7. So these 2 points that I have plotted are at those 2 vertices, and as you'll notice from your graphing calculator, it's just a curve in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. Anytime that xy equals a positive number, it will be in the first quadrant and the third quadrant. If you ever have xy equals a negative number, that will be in the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Alright, the last problem that I'm going to do on this video is to put this into standard form. So step number 1 is once again to get the x's together, to get the y's together. And I'm going to move the 28 to the other side so it becomes -28. I'm going to factor out whatever's in front of the x. So when I factor out the 4, we got x squared plus 24 divided by 4 is 6. For the y's, I'm going to factor out -1 because that's what was in front of the y. And it still equals -28. For the first parenthesis, I'm going to do 6 divided by 2 squared, which is 9. So I'm going to add 9 times 4 over here. And -4 divided by 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 4 over here, and I'm going to subtract 1 times 4 on this side. It's a 9. Oh wait, yeah. 9 times 4 and -1 times 4. So 4, excuse me, the factored form of x squared plus 6x plus 9 is x plus 3 squared, minus 1 times y minus 2, because -2 times -2 equals 4, and -2 minus 2 equals -4, equals 4. So the last step is this right side needs to be a 1, so I have to divide it by 4. So we divide everything by 4. So I got x plus 3 squared. Now, just for the sake of if I had to graph this, I would put it over 1, minus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. Here is the book assignment on this page. You should do 16 through 30, the evens, and that should give you enough. You can also do the other assignments from previous lessons. And if you have any questions, you can email me at afriedlieb@wps60.org, and I will answer them when I get a chance.